What's up, everybody? Eddie Ohanian, Bernard Ori coming at you. We are doing a segment on lookbooks. What is a lookbook?
Do you have one?
Do you have one? What should be in one? What is the purpose of one? And why are we talking about it today, right? That's what we're going on about. Lookbooks. Bernard, do you have one? Do you have a lookbook
I,
of your own?
I do. I was just thinking about this. Let's talk about where they started, where everything started on paper. I got like this little paper pad. Why can I not get away from this stuff? Just like on the side, I've got paper and pen to jot down some notes real quick. And so often I find myself saying, stop the paper completely because it just ends up wadded up in my pocket so I don't forget it. And if it was on at least my phone, it would be digital. And I feel the same way about lookbooks. Is your lookbook, maybe you guys should not answer this if you're in front of other people, but is it still on paper? I mean, I know cameras are fun. And even that new like Polaroid has come back recently. I know because one of my kids that's in their late 20s is doing that and then holding the pictures. His wife holds them and then they take a picture of it and put it on social media. So why are they taking a picture to then take a picture to then post it?
Because it's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. And maybe at the moment you could take a picture of somebody and I don't know what the deal is. But to me, this thing, this phone is so freaking powerful now that it's a computer. So many people did their lookbooks on paper. I did it. Did you ever do it? Did you ever have the big book you turn that over and it
Oh
got big?
yeah, I mean that was our whole portfolio. If you didn't have one and you would go to do a show or you'd go to do a class or something, they wouldn't even look at you.
Right. You were unprofessional.
You were unprofessional. You had to have one.
Right. So most of the world has some sort of documentation of their life, their work, their hobbies, and they don't really call it a lookbook anymore necessarily. But I just thought we'd talk about just a couple of key details about what it should do. I like to be as generic and general as possible because I hate being the police in any department because we're such a creative industry. And I hate it when somebody says you have to do this or you will fail or you have to do this and you will be successful. To me, I feel like if you have an old fashioned paper lookbook, you can still be successful. I
Absolutely.
mean, prove me wrong. You can, if I were to say it any which way, or somebody's going to want to prove me wrong. But why would you have it on paper when all you have to have is that same thing on this phone and you can have a before and an after and scroll through it? So you stepped up a tiny bit to a digital world where you can keep so much more on that phone and show it to so many more people, so much easier, carry it with you, and it's a lot less limiting. But then, if you're going to do that, why not take it one step further? Post it somewhere. I mean, you don't have to get into the craze. You want to show them the craze that could happen right now? Like, what are their options right now? If somebody wanted to post their lookbook on a social media site so other people would see it, show me what you got, Eddie.
Well, what's popular right now is doing video sharing. When we think about lookbook, we only think about it as a still image, right?
True. Good
But
point.
but nowadays, I mean, TikTok is blowing up. I mean,
That's
people are
what
spending
sells.
hours
That's
on
what
it.
sells most of my services actually.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of hair extensions and hair replacement. And I video a client when we're done and say, "What do you think? Turn around. Let me see your hair." And
hmm
that's my lookbook, moving pictures.
Moving pictures, and that's what it is. And it just has come to what it has evolved over the years. We used to
Right,
start off
right.
with the big portfolios, and each page was an entire image. And then we started going down to the 5x7 or the 3x5 photos, and you'd have a couple of them on a page.
Right,
And then you start
right.
getting fancy and stuff. So the advent of video is great. Twitter actually is a great way to share something quick, simple, easy. Hey, check it out. We're doing this week. This is what's hot. And a lot of people don't realize that you don't have to make a big to do. And if you're not good at writing or talking or making titles and stuff, just a quick little shout out. Twitter would be a great thing for something like that, right?
And I don't understand Twitter. So I want to put this out there. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you brought one up that I don't know too well. I tried a Twitter account years ago. I think it's changed a lot since I did it.
Yeah.
It was a lot less interactive, and you couldn't tell if anybody saw anything. They couldn't answer. They give you a little tag every once in a while. But to me, I loved the ones where you got that immediate gratification. And the first thing I want to say to people is we're going to name a ton of social medias here in a minute. But I think the most important thing is use at least the one you're comfortable with. That's the important thing. If you're already on Facebook, I think you should, instead of doing your before and after pictures on paper or just your phone, load them to an image gallery or just load them on Facebook. And then that's where you show them to customers, is from those social media sites, because you did a little bit more than just showed a client the before and after. You potentially showed all your clients, all your friends, and then they can start to market for you accidentally, on purpose. They show your work off. You do a good color. You put it on social media to show your friends and family. One of them shows another family member, says, "Hey, Jan, isn't this what you were talking about the other day?" And it works for you. So that's all I'm saying is, if Instagram's your platform, or I'm reading a list here. I mean, God, we got Instagram. You want to put these up?
Well, we'll go through it here in a second. What I'll say about Twitter, so you got TikTok is really popular right now because it's short clips, right? 5 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that. Twitter, think about it, it's that way without the moving parts to it. It's just a still image. So so for those squirrel moments where you have that 5-second attention span, that's what a Twitter blast would be for, right?
Right.
YouTube, obviously we're on YouTube right now. People are looking for information. So you'd go a little bit more.
Unless this has been shared to another social media.
Yeah.
We could be on all social medias right now. But you're right. We kind of started this as a live on YouTube. And YouTube is not as friendly to images at this moment in time. More of the moving picture.
The moving parts. So it's another example of a moving parts, and you can go a little bit more in depth if you wanted to, right? Whatever, depending on your comfort level.
Right.
Facebook, we were just talking about it, right? Facebook is kind of, Facebook is what popularized the sharing of imagery.
That's true.
Right? So Facebook is not the first person to do it, but they're the first one to successfully popularize it to the level of what it is now.
I agree.
Instagram is where it currently is trending very popularly. And Instagram is nice because it just focuses on imaging. You don't have to write anything. You don't have to post anything, or not. You don't have to make like a whole title for your post. So Instagram is simple and easy.
Less words, more pictures. Facebook seems to be more words, less. But they're kind of. Don't you feel like they're all kind of coming together? It's almost like
slowly, right? But Facebook, the platform that they're all built on, they still have all their place. And that's the nice thing about the variety, is that, again, like you said earlier, whatever your comfort level is, you stay with your comfort zone and you do that thing really good. How you say, how does the expression go? You're the king of one, you're the master of nothing, or you're jack of all trades or something.
Right, jack of all. I don't know how. But,
master of none. I don't know.
Right, I know what you're trying to say. It's better to focus on one thing.
Somebody help me here.
Yeah.
So.
You got me wanting to actually remember it, but it doesn't matter.
Now you're gonna remember, right?
I think most people. Why don't somebody comment in the comments below? Tell us, how does that saying really go?
Please
something
help.
Something about being a master at one instead of, I don't know. I think everybody knows what we're talking about. Yeah. Good.
So Imgur is a one where, I don't know, some people say Imager, some people say Imgur. Nobody really knows how it's pronounced. But it's fun. You endlessly scroll. And you can make a collage.
I've never even heard of this one.
Oh no, this you need.
Are there any words, or it's all images?
You can write. You can write a story if you want. You could do just a 2-sentence thing if you want. You could put one image. You could put a before and after image. You could put them side by side. You could put 20 images if you want. It's endless.
IMGUR. I see you have it on our list, and I guess it's like Imgur. I don't know how to say it, but I see it. And I have never seen it anywhere else before. Obviously, I've seen Twitter, YouTube, I've heard of Flickr.
I
I've even
tell
heard
you,
of Photobucket. Photobucket's a little older.
Photobucket is an older one. It's as old as Facebook. LinkedIn, for more the business side of things. So that's
I've heard of Picasa, but not TwitPic. I've not heard of Image Shack, but heard of Shutterstock.
so all of those
Mm-hmm.
is in like the realm of Pinterest, where it's
I've heard
just
of that.
an area like Instagram, Pinterest. You could just collage. You could just build a library of multiple photos, and you just keep adding and keep adding and keep adding.
So let me tell you a trick that I did on YouTube. A friend of mine back in Hurricane Katrina lost all of his personal old photos, child photos, wedding album, and he said he didn't want his kids to go through the same thing. And I mean, we're always taking a risk. We don't know how long any of these social medias will be around, if they'll be around forever or not. But he felt like YouTube would be around longer than potentially him. So when his kid was born, he started him an email and a YouTube channel, and he loads up his images to YouTube. And I said, but you can't load pictures. And I don't remember if he told me or if I figured it out on my own. I went to iMovie on my iPhone and made a movie of each of the images on my phone of my little boy as he was growing up through the years. And I load up a video every once in a while, or videos of him, and just document his life through his own YouTube channel that he can tell the grandparents or other family members to go see, or we can go back and remember, or even he likes to watch his own channel. So that's a documentation of sorts. It's a sort of lookbook that's both pictures and videos on a platform that is mostly video driven so far. I want to talk about the framing the image. The thing I see go wrong most of the time in a picture, it happens in my own salon. I noticed that I got a couple of ladies here that are going to say hi. Hey guys. And one has, can you tell the difference if I hold them the same? One is a little bit longer.
Yeah, see, you can see one's longer, yeah.
Yeah, so, and you can kind of see the white base on this one. This one doesn't have the white base, but I think it'll give you a good example. So many of my stylists and stylists across the country will do a before picture like this, where the hair starts at the top of the frame and goes to the bottom of the frame. And then when they're finished their extensions and they want to show how long the hair is, they come in and they do it like this. They do the after, or they're so proud of their work at the ends, they come out like this and do the after, like with all this space in here. And it actually looks like the extensions are shorter than the other because of the frame filling. So I always say when you do your before picture, leave some space. Leave the space that you're going to fill in later with this one, so it looks like you actually added length, so that you don't do the opposite. Make the look at the whole one close and one far
see, now
away.
they look like they're the same length, even though they're not.
Yeah, they could look like they're the same length, when actuality, if I hold them together, you can kind of see that. So where you are in the picture can make hair look shorter or longer. So use that to your advantage. You can actually make your extensions look even longer if you kind of use the camera a little bit and back off of your before and zoom in on your after to fill that frame up with hair. And then you can get a little bit better show off of what you're doing. I also say when you're just going to curl or style or flat iron, spend a few extra seconds like this lady here. Spend a few extra seconds and do something with this. She's not actually posing for anything, but if she were, we would try to lay these frizzies down, because this kind of stuff's going to show up a little bit more on camera than in the real world. Wouldn't you agree? You've done some stage work. What are some of the tricks to get those frizzies to lay down?
Real quick. So, especially with stage work and especially with photo shoots and the flyaways, the frizzies, and things like that, you gotta have consistency in your photo. Because we are not photographers, we've not been trained on photography, right. So we get confused, right? And it's a common error that you want to fill in the frame, like you were saying.
Right.
Pick a spot on the body. Most of the time, if you go with the collarbone, your before picture from the collarbone up, your after picture from the collarbone up.
Oh, that's a good tip.
How you're going to keep that consistency from photo to photo, like you was talking about, Bernard, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's
unless
you're
doing extensions to the elbows, then you're going to want to put the elbows.
Yeah, wherever. See, and that's the planning. You got to put a little bit of planning into this. Wherever the final after after image is going to end up being. That's where the before image, you want to start that too. And people get nervous, like, well, that's a lot of dead space.
Right.
No, that's okay. That's the whole point. You're showing,
Right.
because now the after image, you can appreciate how much you filled in all that dead space that didn't exist. Your image is telling a story. And then for the little flyaways and frizzies and stuff like that, quickest, simplest way to do this, and I don't want to start any craze, but you get a little toilet paper.
I know, I've seen you do it. I knew it. I've seen you do it.
You get a little bit of toilet paper. You get like 3 or 4 squares of the toilet paper. You hairspray. Put some hairspray on it. Rub that over.
You look like a shoe shine guy. Just slide. Yeah. And don't do this.
Quickest. Now, don't go out there and go crazy and start buying toilet paper all over again, and then we all run out.
Oh, that's what you're afraid of. If you mention toilet paper, we won't be able to get it anymore. That's funny. That's funny. Hey, I learned a couple of things accidentally. I was at a hair show, and they were short on male models for extensions. So the photographer had one of the hairdressers near me just put a couple of blonde pieces in my hair, asked if he could take some pictures of me. I said, I'm no model. I don't know what to do. And he said, it's okay. I'm going to tell you what to do. And I can't go through the whole thing now, but I felt like I looked pretty stupid when he posed me. But after, I got to say, I look pretty good in those pictures. And I want to tell you a few things he did. I was just now doing it. Look, if you pull your head back and your camera's coming from underneath, you look like you have a fatter neck and a fuller face. Like I just put my computer up on a couple of boxes to get a more straight on or downward angle. You see the girls doing those poses all the time with the phone way up looking down because everything looks better from up here. And when you're like this, I mean, big fat neck, you're seeing up the nostrils. So it's either straight on or a little down. But one of the things he had me do, like, look, if I feel like I'm looking, just feel like I should be comfortable right now, but I look at myself and I'm not, because he said, bring your chin towards the camera a little and look at my neck. It just gets skinnier. I mean, I feel stupid, but I look a little bit. So as weird as it sounds, a little more better posture, camera a little higher, and bring your head towards the camera. And then one of the little tips for ladies, I'm just going to go in a tiny little thing, and I think we should end this, is that it works good for guys too, but we all want to look a little skinnier in the waist. And when you're straight on, I got this one from Kim Kardashian. I saw her on a show one time, and she was saying, never have your arms next to your body because they become part of your overall width. Try to open up a little bit here so you can see some space between the arms and the waist, and it just gives a little bit skinnier waistline instead of just being all together and just looking big. I thought,
we call that the superhero pose, because anytime you see in a comic book or in a movie or something like the Superman thing, right? It's the superhero pose.
Oh, there we are. Amber's just walking by doing the superhero pose. She's learning.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's enough for one day. I don't want to make these videos too long.
No, that was the request that we had got in. That was the request of the week. You know, what is the most popular thing that y'all are requesting and talking about all the time? That's why we are creating this content for y'all. You know, what is the lookbook? Why do we need the lookbook? I never heard of it, but a lot of you have, and you've been doing it. Maybe you just didn't realize.
Maybe you don't call it lookbook.
And maybe you don't call it lookbook. So let us know. These are the kind of things. Let us know what else you guys are all looking for. Share this out with all your people as well, too. So this way we can get more feedback onto what you're looking for. We'll put together the next content. We'll go from there. Thank you guys, everybody. I'm Eddie Ohanian. Got Bernard Ori.
Bernard Ori.
Catch you.